Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm Jeanna.
And I'm Evo.
I would like to announce that we are no longer Shit Talk Fridays. We took out the shit and kept the talk in the Fridays and thought that it would be better suited for us to go with the name Spark Talk Fridays, because a lot of our conversations are sparked from just everyday interactions that Evo and I have. It winds up being him saying something and it sparks something in my brain or his brain where we're like, we should talk about that. Or I hear something on the radio.
I just said it in the shower.
You did?
I did.
Yeah. So the name felt better fitted for us.
Yeah.
But we still will be talking a lot of shit.
You know, I want to say at the beginning during our first, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15, maybe 20 episodes. I'm probably off on the count, but who cares? We talked a lot of shit.
Yeah, we did.
And we did a lot more current events and things like that. And we really kind of, spoke our opinions on these things and how we felt. And it ended up being like a lot of shit talking. So, but then like our content just took a turn for where we are now. So I think it was time. I think it was definitely time that we evolved a bit there because our content has evolved.
Yeah, that's the word I would use. I think it definitely evolved into something else.
Absolutely.
That we are both really enjoying and that our listeners are enjoying, so we want to keep giving you that. Doesn't mean that we still won't talk a lot of shit. And actually, on today's episode, we decided that we wanted to have an episode, which we're going to make this a tradition, which we kind of have been already, where every so often we drop in an episode where it is just us having a good time and talking really lighthearted about things that couples and, relationships and people will generally do that is maybe not sometimes spoken about, but we're going to talk about it because a lot of people do this shit. And so we decided to talk about marriage porn. And I don't mean the porn that you Google.
I know some people were like, what?
What? It's not the type of porn that when your partner is away, you decide to play, that you look up and you just so happen to be married. No, that's not what we're talking about. We are talking about unconventional turn-ons, things that tend to turn you on when you're in a relationship that are very just everyday shit. And I know that a lot of couples have these type of turn-ons because I have a lot of friends that are married. I have a lot of friends that are in relationships. And these are the type of things that they will say that their spouse will do that turns them on, but are not your typical, like, she wore something sexy or, he rubbed my back. It's not that kind of stuff. It's literally just like he went into the room and turned on the light. And a bitch got hot. Type shit.
Well, I'm interested to hear what you have to say. Cause
yeah,
I am. I just, you're as you're speaking and you're saying that it's not the typical shit. I kind of feel like that men are pretty basic in that way.
Oh, no. Here we go with this men being very basic shit. I'm so tired of hearing this. Men are very easy. I don't think that men are as basic as you lead them
All
on
right.
to believe.
Well, listen, let's get into it. Let's hear some of what you got in comparison to what I got. And then we'll kind of talk about that.
Yeah. And with the upcoming holiday of Valentine's Day, I thought that a lot of couples are going to be celebrating the ways that they experience love, the way that they experience sex, and the way that they experience intimacy. And there are many times that I find myself admiring Evo when he's not looking, and it's a lot of the times Evo is doing something that he would never think is a turn on for me, even though I'm very good at vocalizing when he does do those things how much they turn me on, right? And I think that there are many other couples, like I said earlier, that have these, if not same exact turn-ons, something that is similar in their relationship that their partner does that turns them on. So the first turn-on that I have that is considered unconventional but is a turn-on for me, and I think that this is a turn-on for a lot of other women, is when Evo brings me food. Especially when Evo brings me food when I don't expect it, or I'm sitting in the car and he knows that I'm like in one of those moods where he then will say, babe, I got it. And he leaves me in the car and he goes and gets the food. And then I watch his sexy ass walk back with a bag of whatever it is. And you just did this past Saturday when I said that I wanted ice cream after. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, it was like 3 degrees outside and we went to go out to eat. And on our way home, I looked at Evo and I gave him the eyes and he was like, what do you want? And I was like, ice cream.
You know, it was just one of those moments. Like, I feel like everybody has been through this moment in your relationship where you get a look from your significant other and you gotta give that person what they're asking for. Like, there people sometimes get in these moods where you gotta co-sign their bullshit. And so I was there for it, you know? And it was cold as fuck outside, but you wanted ice cream, we went and got ice cream. Shit.
Thank you. So, before I tell you the why behind this turns me on, why do you think you bringing me food turns me on?
All I can say is that you've taken so many pictures of me walking back to the car with food in my hand that I swear you have to have like an album in your phone dedicated just to pictures of me walking up to the car with food in my hand.
Also bringing me drinks like coffee and shakes and all that kind of stuff. Why do you think this turns me on? And I'm almost certain that this is a common theme amongst other women, that they get turned on when their significant other brings them food or drinks. Why do you think that is?
Is it because it's an act of service?
Ooh, that's a really good answer.
If I'm talking about you and me knowing you the way that I do, I'm gonna say that it turns you on because one of your favorite, one of your number one love language is act of service.
Yeah.
So,
Evo,
you didn't think about it like that, did you?
I think that answer is better than my answer.
I know you better than you know yourself. How about that?
Yo, the minute you said that, I was like, holy fuck, this man is right.
20 years, shit, you know?
20 years.
So what was your answer?
Okay. And yes, I would wholeheartedly agree that, yes, when you bring me something, especially when I don't ask for it, it's my number one love language and it is acts of service. But not only are you bringing me food to nourish me, I feel like when you do things like that, Evil, you're like feeding my soul.
Yeah, I was just thinking that as you were speaking, the fact that I know how you get when you're hungry.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you're like depleted.
Yes.
So here I come with the one thing that's going to revive you, and it's in a form of service.
Yes.
It's like it's like a 2-in-1, you know. It's like a jab cross, you know.
Yeah.
Bah, bah.
I feel like you're caring for me more than just through words. You're showing me affection and love and thoughtfulness through food and through you doing it in a way where I may not have even asked for it, or let's say I do ask for it, but then you're offering to go and get it and not having me be part of like the interaction of getting the food. You know, you let me be in my peace, and then you bring me something that really elevates my happiness. And I can't tell you how many times you have done that, and I have then in my mind, I have not said aloud, but I'm like, boy, wait till we get home. After I digest this food, it's gonna be on and popping.
This shit just dawned on me though, because I'm actually I didn't realize that moment that you're having in the car where you're hungry and you're not having to do anything about it, and yet your hunger is being satisfied.
Yep.
So all of the things that are required to satisfy hunger, you don't have to do any of it, which is what you would prefer. Like, you hate having to deal with that stuff as far as like going out, going into a store, ordering, being around people, maybe hearing or like being around things that make you feel uncomfortable. So the fact that you don't have to deal with any of that, and then you have me bringing you food,
yeah.
I see it now.
Also, I just want to add to another level of that. Do you know why it is I hate doing those type of things, like going into a store, getting food? No. And it has a lot to do with my hyper independence growing up. Me having to do a lot of that very early on. I can remember being like 8 years old, going down the street to get Chinese food by myself and learning, you know, how to navigate that type of experience very early on and having to speak up for myself. I remember I was like 12 or 11, taking 2 city buses to get to school, or, you know, I had to do a lot of that stuff by myself. So now that I have a partner that I can share those experiences with, it makes me, I feel so loved by you when you are able to do those things for me.
You know what you sound like? You sound like you sound like the high-powered exec that makes that has to make executive decisions all day long, and is in charge of so much stuff. And when they come home, they just want to relinquish all that shit, and not have to deal with anything, and have somebody just care for them the way that they care for everybody else.
Yes, that is fucking spot on.
I could dig it.
Yeah,
I see that.
Okay, so I would love to hear what your one of your unconventional turn-ons for me is. And
okay,
I do think that this is something that, again, I think other men are going to be able to.
I'm gonna go off my list here for a second, because I just realized today,
really?
that there's something that I don't have on my list that you do, and you don't do it every day, but when you do it, it's something that it's not anything like where you're doing it to turn me on or anything like that. You just do it, and it turned me on in a way where I don't realize it. And that's when you flip back and forth with you from your straight to curly hair. And it's vice versa. Like, there's no preference on straight or curly. Though there was a point in time where you wore your hair straight for a very long time, right?
Yeah.
And I got used to it. And then one day you were like, fuck this, I'm done with this, I'm going curly. And then that day I was just like, oh shit.
But when you met me, I had
you had curly hair.
Yeah,
and
I wore that for a very long time too.
But recently, I would say more than recently, for the last couple of years, you've been wearing your hair curly. And then today you decided to straighten it. So when I came upstairs, I was just like,
yeah, I was like, hey, shit. Daddy, how you doing?
Like, how you doing, girl? Shit, what's up?
Meanwhile, I was like head deep into my laptop, and you're like, oh, you straighten your hair? I was like, yeah.
I could tell you were off somewhere, but
oh, okay. So basically switching up my look, which I tend to do a lot.
It's not the look, it's your hair.
Oh.
Specifically your hair. You can, you change your style often, and none of it makes me feel the way that I feel when you do that to your hair. And I'm a hair guy. I like hair.
What do you mean by you're a hair guy?
I like a woman who has healthy hair, who has style to their hair. I prefer brunettes, obviously. And the fact
Even though when Evo met me, my hair was blonde.
It was blonde, yeah. But when I met you, I thought you were cute, but I wasn't attracted to you.
Yeah.
Because you had blonde hair.
My hair was that hood blonde, because I went to some spot down the street and did some BS.
Yeah, something about it just wasn't it for me. But then you came to school one day with your hair dyed black and curly, and the needle jumped off the record.
Yeah, Evo heard that song, Dreamweaver.
I was like, oh shit, she's Dominican. Damn, this whole time.
Okay, that's I definitely didn't know that. I didn't know that was something that internally you were like, hey.
Yeah, that's it's a little secret of mine. I keep it in my back pocket. I can't tell you all my, the juice, because then you're gonna be pulling them out on me and shit like that on command. Have me folding over like a fucking lawn chair and shit.
Well, listen, you definitely know that I'm not really a creature of habit. I don't do a lot of the same things over and over again. I actually kind of despise that.
No, but you know what? I can see you one day being like, oh, he wants to be mad at me? All right, I'm going to straighten my hair. And you just know that I'm going to fold like a lawn chair. And that's it. It's going to be over.
Oh, my God. I'm just imagining you folding like a lawn chair. I don't know why the image in my head was like, in the drag queens when they do like the slit dives, I just imagine you doing that shit. Okay, so I'm going to move on to my next one. That I also think that this is one where a lot of women, when they hear me say this, they're all gonna be like, hell to the fucking yeah. And it is when I come home from a long day and the fucking house is clean.
I know you love yourself some clean house, boy.
When you come home and you just want to die, and your man has cleaned the entire house from top to bottom, so that you can die in a clean house, is the best fucking feeling ever. And there is there is a multitude of reasons why that act turns me on. But again, I want to ask you, what do you think about that act turns me on?
I'm gonna go out and say that you love to clean yourself, and I don't say that. I don't want to say you love to clean like it's therapeutic for you. You just you like things to be clean. You don't like things to be messy, dirty, unorganized. But every time that you do it, it wears you out. But you'll do it because it's how you prefer to live. So I think that when you leave and you come back and all that work is done, and it kind of like just trajects you into that space without having to do all the work, I can kind of see that being a little orgasmic. I really can.
I like the word choice.
Now I do it because you're not home. So like I'm a working type of person. Like when I'm by myself, like typically I just kind of do work shit, but when you're around, I just do a lot of stuff with you. We spend time together, we go places, I squeeze my work in, but like, we spend a lot of time together when we're together. So when you leave, I got nothing else to do. I just do shit.
Well, just so you know, that should be hitting the spot. But what I'm going to say to you is that you are providing me peace in my space that I feel the most safe in. And, there's kind of like that saying of a clean home is a happy home. So when I come home and the house is clean, you again have elevated my happiness. And I walk into what I consider peace. And I think that so many other women feel the same exact way when they come home from a long day of work or a hard day at work or whatever it is that they're walking in the door from, to know that they're walking into a space that is clean, it immediately like reduces the level of stress in a woman's body. And I know that is something that makes women feel like my partner understands that this minimizes the stress that I've had throughout the day. Thus, when I walk in the door, I'm off the bat going to be happier. So when partners do that kind of stuff for us, we then feel appreciated in ways like that are not conventional.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. I understand.
And I say partner because there are women that walk in the door and they're not walking into a man. They're walking into, maybe a female partner. So it's just the act of that person saying, I'm going to do something for my partner that, maybe we do together usually, or maybe she or he does this generally because of like, how chores are split up in the home. I'm just going to alleviate this one thing so that when they come in, they just walk right into fucking peace. And like, that's how I feel. It's almost like, trying to think of the way I can explain this, like, so someone could see this visually. It's like the feeling I get when I walk onto the beach. Just like instant, like,
Okay. Unknown to Jeanna, I'm just doing what I do. Side note, so I have a detailing business, right? So I'm just
detailing.
A car detailing business, yeah. So I'm just detailing. It's really what I'm doing. I start cleaning, and I start cleaning in a way where like I'm detailing, and things have to be like buffed and shine the way that I would do a detail, and like carpets have to be cleaned a certain way. So I like kind of get in there the way that I would do in a car detail. And so I'm just kind of like, you're picking at that OCD part of myself. And the result is, you come home thinking that like a slave.
Word. Listen, on my birthday, I actually had to work on my birthday, and I worked a really long day. I worked like 14-hour day on my birthday. So when I walked in the door, it was like 9:00 at night. And when I walked in the house fucking immaculate. And Evo even waxed the floors. Yeah. So like it was beyond just clean. Like you put attention to detail, as you said, you're a detailer. And I remember just walking in being like, oh my God, praise Jesus.
That's definitely got to feel good after a long day of work. Yeah. Now that I'm putting myself in your shoes and kind of just imagining what it is that you're visualizing when you're walking through the door, I can see that.
All right, so share us yours.
A lot of the stuff that turns me on, that is like it's marriage porn for me, are things that have to do with the way I see you, or a lot of things that you're wearing. So for me, a big one is when okay, so for me,
I'm a little scared right now.
I'm saying, I feel like, like a lot of people would identify with this,
Okay.
because it is a thing. But when you're watching you walk around the house in your workout clothes, those pants and those like little tops that you have on, it should just look sexy.
Okay, but would you? All right. I mean,
and you work out pretty much every day, so
Yes.
I see you in these things on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I don't have to go to the gym. Like I'm sure there's a whole society of men out there that look forward to go to the gym just so that they can see women dressed in these workout outfits as a kind of like a nice view with their workout. They look forward to maybe talking to women and
being a pervert.
Listen, I don't want to go ahead and say it's all perverted. Just because you enjoy looking at something doesn't mean you got to be a pervert about it.
Okay.
All right. So
I hope that's not your.
I'm not talking about gawking or anything like that, but
Okay.
Listen, God gave people eyes to look at
Yes.
things. Okay. Beautiful things are meant to be looked at and admired. Okay.
Okay, I agree.
If you're a good looking woman and you wear a nice looking outfit that is matched, and you put thought and time into it, and you really like your shit is a fit, don't be upset that somebody's looking at you and admiring you. Now, I understand the gawking thing. I get it. Nobody wants to be gawked at. And I honestly don't feel like a lot of women mind like a glance or a look or a check out. It's that frozen, like, like you don't like your eyes, like your eyes are broken. I get that. So what I'm referring to is just, because I don't do that here at home with you. I don't sit there and stare at you. You know what I mean? So it's in that form where like you just you walk by. And
I mean, sometimes you do, but it's different.
I mean, that's intentional.
Yeah.
But
But yes, I would agree. I think I do believe that beautiful things are meant to be looked at, and I would agree that it's the fine line between take a look, take a glance, don't fucking stare and be a creep.
So I don't have to go to the gym. It's at home every day. You're walking around the house. Your outfits are very well planned out and put together, even though sometimes I feel like you don't even try. And I enjoy the shit out of it. That shit turns me on like a motherfucker.
I do try, but I will say that I don't try for you. Like, I'm not putting on these workouts. I know that.
No, I just feel like, because I mean, obviously we're in the same room, and I watch you get dressed sometimes, and it just feels like you go into the drawer and you're just like blah blah blah. You throw it on and it's an outfit.
Well, that's because when I purchase items, I purchase them within the intention of things fitting into my wardrobe.
Yeah. My gym clothes look like pajamas.
Well, that's because
and they're gym clothes.
It's because you don't do.
I work out at home. Like I don't feel like I appreciate you. I really do.
I work out at home too.
I know you do, and I appreciate you and the time that you put into these outfits. And please.
Okay, so let me give you a little inside scoop when it comes to outfits, when it comes to working out, even if it's at home. Those are motivators for me. So there are times where I'm eager to get up and put on something that I feel like I look good in, because then it motivates me to want to be in the gym. Even though the gym is in our home space, there are many times I don't want to do. Like today, I literally had an internal battle with myself about working out. But sometimes having on a nice workout outfit that I've had intention behind will motivate me to go there, because like, why am I wearing this if I'm not going to work out? Also, I thrift a lot of my workout outfits, so I really have to put time and thought into a piece that I'm adding to my workout wardrobe. So I like to make sure that it fits.
Well, you keep that energy, babe.
Oh my God,
thank you. Keep that shit up. I love it.
But I would think that there are a lot of other husbands and wives that when they see their partner in something workout related, that it's a turn on. I would say, though, I don't think that that's super unconventional. I think it's possibly not the norm. It's not something that someone says right away, like that turns me on about my husband or my wife. But I do think I have heard people say stuff.
Okay,
like
you
that.
want an unconventional one?
No.
I can give you an unconventional one.
That's fine. I'm not saying that it's it's not the norm.
Gonna have me digging in the crates over
Oh
here,
my
Jeanna.
god,
Shit.
my hair is driving me crazy because it's like looped around my headphone, and I feel it tugging.
You haven't worn it like that in such a long
Yeah,
time. It's almost
maybe
like
that's what it is.
It's like
driving
a
me
little
nuts.
bit weird to manage.
Yeah, it's like wrapped up in my headphone right now. But anyway, I have two other ones that I want to share, but I decided to do a little bit of looking into what other type of unconventional turn-ons that women would have, because I wanted to try to get like an overall idea if there was some out there that were a little bit more obscure than others.
Interesting.
And I came across one that when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, yeah, I can see how that could be a turn on. And it was something that was in a Women's Health magazine article. And then there was another website, I forget the exact name of it, where it was kind of did like a little bit of a survey on some of these what they called atypical turn-ons, which means not your norm, right? And when I read this one on these two different sites, I was like, ooh, I'm going to talk about this one because this is something that you do. And when you do it, I'm not going to say that it's like a sexual turn on for me, but it definitely gives me like the sense of like, wow, he really knows what he's doing.
I'm lost. I don't even know. I can't even think about like what this could possibly be.
And it's when men hold and pet cats.
Really?
Yes.
You know what? Now that you say that, you have looked at me kind of funny a couple ways when I'm like holding the cats.
Pause. Men are out there earning the respect of a pussy. Hello.
Oh shit.
Do you understand?
Was there supposed to be like a dun-dun-dun-sh with
no.
that? Oh, okay.
I'm literally think about what it takes to earn and build a bond with a cat.
You asking me?
Yes. What does it
I
take?
know what it takes.
Yes. Do you think everybody's good at that?
No, I don't think you have to. There has to be a desire to want to communicate with animals in a way where you have an inclination to figure out how to do it based on body language. And so unless you're into that, then no, nobody's gonna give a shit.
Okay, so think about what it is that you just said. You have to be in tune with an animal's body language, right? You are so good at comforting the cats, gaining their trust. They look for your affection in ways that I have almost never seen cats look for someone's affection in this house as a whole. Or from my experience, I've really only seen it happen on like, like on social media, but I will say that there is a trend of a lot of women posting videos of when their cat is showing a lot of affection to their significant other, mainly a man, and they're just sitting there like chopped liver. But I do know that women, we find this as a turn on because any woman that knows that a man can swoon a cat has swag, because this man has earned the trust of a cat. And that means that the man then knows how to assert his dominance and comfort in a balance.
That's exactly what it is. It's dominant and comfort in a balance.
And because you know how to do that, we look at that like, oh, word?
I had no idea. No idea.
So when I read this, I was like, oh my God, I know why women are fucking turned on by this.
Yeah.
Evo, you have to understand, like, yeah, they say man's best friend because a dog will fucking greet you, a dog is kind of...
Yeah.
A dog is kind of like a fuddy-duddy, they love you no matter what. Cats, they ain't about that shit. You gotta earn that shit. And the way that the cats are with you, sometimes I'm like, God damn, bro. Is this real life?
You know what? I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
Yeah.
You know where that comes from?
Tell me.
It comes from me not. Okay, so cats, they like to they like to be a little funny sometimes, right? They'll be nice and purring with you, and then the next moment they got their claws dug into your hand. You know,
Sounds like a lot of women I know.
right? Potentially, maybe so. So this is a typical behavior of cats. You know, they're flip floppy. One minute they're like, next minute they're like, fuck out of here. You know, and they don't want you near them. And that came from me not wanting that to happen to me. And so I always try to make it a point to let the cat know that I ain't the one. Like, when you come around me, you better come correct. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sitting here fucking cheesing so hard because just swap out the word cat, and it's like when I wanted to learn how to be like that with women.
When you come around me, you better come correct.
Yeah.
Because if not.
But you had to learn how to maneuver around women the same way you have to learn how to maneuver around cats. Because women can be very fickle like that too. We could be very like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And the next minute we're like showing you no affection. Evo is the king at that shit. Right?
I mean, I try, I guess. If you feel like
oh my God.
Listen, if you feel like
give yourself some credit. Really, give yourself some credit, Evo, because some of the stories that you have told me about the women in your life, sometimes I'm like, I'm sorry, what the fuck did you just say to me?
Man, you know, I just do what I do.
Oh my God. I'm fucking done.
I'm just trying not to get ran over. That's all it is.
Okay.
You know?
I know but cats can be like that. They
That's
think,
exactly what
they think that this is their domain, and you're very good at being like, no, sir or ma'am, this is not how I'm the king of the castle.
Exactly.
But you do it with asserting your dominance and comfort in such a like fucking a yin and a yang way, where that's when I think about it, that was one of the lures to me to you as a man. You know, there were moments, Evo, where you were super like, hey, baby, what you doing? And then I would do something. I would get a little bit out of the box. And you would be like, you know that shit you did the other day? Don't ever do that shit ever again. I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, though that's how them cats get treated. They don't, what? Don't
so now you know why women find that shit attractive. All right?
Okay.
So now, give me something very unconventional,
all right.
Evo.
This is unconventional for me.
Because workout pants ain't it.
This is unconventional for me. All right. And that one thing that you do that is unconventional that turns me on is when you're loafing around in your pajamas.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I
Oh,
know that other men love that shit.
God, when I tell you something about just seeing you in that natural element where there's no effort to try to look cute. You're just being you in your most comfortable space, and you're just raw and uncut. And I get to see something. I guess what turns me on about it the most is I get to see you, a side of you that nobody else gets to see.
Yeah.
And not only do I get to see that, but you're in a space with me that you're the most comfortable, and you're able to be that way. And so that in itself kind of like adds to the turn on, you know, that we've reached a space where we're completely vulnerable with each other. And I think it's a little bit more difficult for women to be that way than men, because women are judged a lot by their appearance. And so it takes a lot more for women to like let her hair down and kind of like, you know, take the makeup off and just feel comfortable in a space where once that's all gone, you know, the true personality comes out. And then seeing you in your pajamas, I mean, just your pajamas represents you being the most comfortable that you can be. Yeah. You know, and so watching you giggle and laugh and like just be in that space, it's such a turn on for me that I can't even explain it.
And you know, a bitch love a pajama.
I know you do. I know you too. And you got some cute ones too. Shit.
Yeah.
So that adds to it.
I know you especially love the summertime ones.
Mm-hmm. Shit.
I got one last one.
Okay.
And I think that you know this about me. I have said this to you many of a times. Yo, Evo, when you outside fucking doing yard work.
Goddamn yard work, boy.
I'm closing my eyes as I'm saying this right now. Especially when you're outside mowing the lawn and you have like a t-shirt on and your headphones and you're like on another fucking planet.
I'm out there fucking manhandling that lawn equipment.
I don't know what it is that you're outside doing. I don't know where your brain goes, but I be looking at you sometimes and I'm just like, oh my God. And what even takes it to another level is when you're done and I go outside and everything looks fucking like so manicured. Because, you know, a bitch don't love nothing more than a manicured lawn.
Something out of Lawn and Garden magazine.
Right?
And shit. Yeah.
And listen to what I'm saying. A manicured lawn. I fucking love that shit.
Gina loves those lines, boy. When I start
oh my God.
take out the edge trimmer and I'm just like.
I don't know what it is. I had to think about why this is a turn on for me. And I couldn't really come up with like a concrete answer other than I love when things are really well presented. Like I love a clean space.
I was just about to say there's an art to it.
Yeah, and
between shaping the bushes and cutting the all the grass lines. Yeah, I shape the bush. I'll shape that shit up.
So I just feel like, especially when you do it and like I leave and I come back and it's done and I pull up to the house, I'm like, oh, look at that.
Yo, you're terrible.
I'm like, yo, look at those. Yo, he mowed the lawn in the same direction. Oh my God, yo, that shit like
the lines in the lawn.
Yeah, like when you do it in the backyard. Yeah. Oh my God, evil. You don't even understand.
That shit is therapeutic. I love it.
Yeah, well, that's why sometimes I'm just like,
I love it, but it's like a love-hate relationship.
I know, because there's times that we pull up and I'm like, are you gonna do the yard work anytime soon?
I'd be like, fuck that yard.
I know. So just so you know, that's a turn on for me. So you may want to like keep that in the front of your lobe from now on.
Okay. I have some tips for the ladies out there for things that they can do to turn on their man, just like slight little things that they may not be aware of.
Oh, okay. I'd love to hear these.
I'm gonna run through them real quick. Now this one is one of my personal favorites, and that's when, and you kind of like touched on it a little bit when the reference about the pajamas, and that's when the weather's warm. Ladies, do not be afraid to break out those short shorts.
Oh my God.
When I tell you, that shit never gets tired. We have been together 20 years, and I still don't get tired of it.
Yeah, he sure doesn't.
And I tell you what, listen, if your man is insecure and he's that type of guy where he doesn't want you wearing certain things outside, that's fine. Do it in the house. Make a day of it. If you're not going to go anywhere, make sure that day you put on those short shorts and wear them around the house. Drive his ass fucking crazy. Because I know that shit drives me crazy. And I don't mind if she wears
them outside. If your man is insecure about you wearing shorts outside the house, that's a whole nother conversation.
Listen,
but
whatever the case may be, it's still healthy for a couple to have it in the privacy of their own homes. And ain't nobody knocking you if that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to feel like, you hear me saying that, well, my man won't let me wear that type of stuff outside. Because I know that stuff exists in a relationship. And that's fine. That's okay if that's a space that you're in. It doesn't have to be outside. You can make a day of it at home. Okay. And do it one day when you have no plans on going out. Just something to think about.
Okay.
Another thing that's one of my personal favorites is that, and again, this is something that if clothing is an issue, then you could just do it at home, and that's wear something lacy underneath your clothes, but in a way where it just kind of shows, like a lacy bra where like the strap is just showing a little bit, and it's just kind of hinting that there's lace underneath there, because I love lace lingerie. I think a lot of men love lace lingerie. So it allures to the idea that there's a lace lingerie underneath there. It kind of like sparks the imagination, and it's totally unintentional. Like it's just a little piece of clothing that all of a sudden like starts opening up the imagination.
Okay.
And lastly, but not least, something that is very unconventional that ladies probably don't know much about is don't ever underestimate a boob graze.
A what?
A boob graze.
What do you mean?
See, I knew you didn't know about it. That's when a woman kind of walks by you accidentally and her boob grazes you.
Oh my God.
Oh man. Yo.
I'm gonna edit that part out.
Why? Listen, don't underestimate a boob graze. You know what I'm saying? And it's your man, so just Put it on them.
Oh my God. See, that's not a graze though. That's very intentional. All right. I appreciate those tips. Those are cute.
Yeah.
So Evo and I decided that we are going to start a new tradition at the end of every episode, and we have these we have this intimacy deck here. We decided that at the end of every episode, like the last 5 minutes or so, we are going to just randomly pull one card each. And whatever the question is, that person has to answer it.
Oh, man.
Okay? Whatever the question
We
is.
haven't even seen any of these.
Yeah,
so
we're
no
literally
idea.
just going to pull them.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if, for anyone that can see, they're just like randomly, they're just
I
random
wonder what the
cards.
colors mean.
I don't know. We about to find out. Okay,
Is it like PG-13?
I don't know, bro.
NC-17,
doesn't
rated
matter.
R,
Just
X.
pull the card. This show is explicit anyway. Pull the card and ask me the question.
All right. If you could pick 1 year of your life to do over, which year would you pick and why? Damn.
Wow. Oh my God, that one is.
You want to do this.
I know.
This
okay,
is totally your idea.
If I could pick 1 year of my life, and do it over, what year would that be? I would say it would have been the year that I left college initially, when I was 21 or 22. I left college after 1 year because me and my child's father had separated, and I dropped out of college and moved back home. I have regrets doing that because I could have got my degree earlier on in my life and not had to do it so many years later, where I had a lot more on my plate.
Mm-hmm.
And I've maybe could have pursued other things in my life earlier, but that had to come into play.
I mean, listen, we all have that fuck it moment in our lives where we
Well, it
just
wasn't
say,
a fuck it. I was like in a really bad situation.
yeah, so you were just like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah, all right.
I get it. I listen, there's things that I've done in my life that revolve around fuck it, and you know very well what they are, so,
Yeah.
you're not alone.
Okay.
That was a good one.
I'm going to pull a card. You did a green one. I'll take one of these purple ones. And, okay.
Excuse me.
If you can instantly attain 3 skills, what would they be?
If I could instantly attain 3 skills, what would they be?
Skills, yeah.
One would be the ability to create. No, I don't want to do that. I just, you know what it was? I'm gonna say it, but I'm not gonna count it as it. I was gonna say the ability.
You got 2 minutes.
The ability to create wishes, but then I just saw myself being a fucking genie.
That's not a skill.
That's a skill.
No,
I think that's a fucking
skill, Evo.
dope skill.
Come on, like woodworking, like a skill.
All
Come
right.
on.
So, okay, I would love to develop the skill to be a professional, and I mean like when I say professional, I mean like a high professional stock trader.
Okay. That's one.
I would like the skill to be a pilot.
Oh, that's a fucking great one. I want that skill too.
Yeah, would love to fly, and I would love to. What's the other one? I would love the skill to be a professional dancer.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, because that's a form of expression that you could just
Okay.
body language all day.
I was hoping you were going to say electrician.
I'm good. But you know why I'm good?
I would love to learn how to do electrical work.
My dad used to be really good at taking things apart in the shop and like fixing them electrically, so we didn't have to buy new ones. And I tried to sit down with him a bunch of times and like kind of like get the learning of, and I just never took to it. I didn't
I kind of love that stuff.
I didn't like the fact that I could be accidentally electrocuted.
Oh yeah, I actually got electrocuted.
Yeah,
a
me
couple
too.
times.
I didn't like it. And that's why I'm good. You can keep that.
All right. Well, that was cute.
Yeah, I had that.
I'm a little afraid though of what else is in this pile,
That's a
but
big-ass
I
fucking
guess
deck.
I guess
We'll
we
find
will.
out.
I guess we will find out in future episodes. But like I always say to you, Evo, I enjoy having this conversation with you.
Always a pleasure.
I hope that everyone out there enjoyed this lighthearted episode. We want everyone to enjoy your Valentine's Day holiday, however you choose to celebrate it, whether it's with a significant other, whether it's galentimes, girlfriends, hanging out with your boys. It's a day of love, so express it and celebrate it however you choose to. But until next Friday, ladies and gentlemen, peace out.
Peace out.